legislation for a fixed election date and other legislative priorities, human capital management enterprise system to come on stream, and 3 major development projects for the water sector to be rolled out. Some top priorities for government in the 2016-2017 fiscal year, touching the lives of all stakeholders as it seeks to build a partnership to develop a prosperous nation. Building a partnership for prosperity in the 2016-2017 parliamentary year first involves good governance and setting the framework for accountability. In keeping with that, the legislative arm of government is moving full speed ahead with a number of laws.
Parliament this year will see legislation to create fixed election dates and term limits for the Prime Minister. The impeachment legislation will provide for impeachment proceedings to be brought against corrupt public officials and parliamentarians.
Other legislation include legislation aside, government will continue to pursue policies to grow the economy and create jobs. In agriculture, agro-parks will be turned into agroeconomic zones to strengthen the link between farming and agro-processing.
This year, the government will commence the construction of a brand new irrigation system in Essex Valley, St. Elizabeth at a cost of US $10 million. A new agro-park will also be established in Spring Gardens, Portland.
It's going to be focusing on a number of agricultural crops, not the least of which, of course, is cash crops, potatoes, onions, similar to what we have been doing across the country.
Growth will also be driven through key projects in tourism, transport, and mining. On the business end, the online registration of businesses will become a reality through the implementation of an electronic business registration system. And the human capital management enterprise system will be used to make projections in training, availability of skills, compensation, and pensions.
This system, importantly, will also ensure that we meet our goals of fairness in the areas of gender and persons with special needs.
Speaking of special needs, the Disabilities Act will be fully implemented this year through the development of regulations and codes of practice. The Disabilities Rights Tribunal will also be established. Building a partnership for prosperity also means rolling out programs which can directly improve the quality of life for Jamaicans. This includes 3 major projects to improve water supply and wastewater treatment.
Particular focus will be on the following. 1. The Recobre Water Treatment Plant development. 2. The Rio Bueno Water Treatment Plant development. And 3. The Soapberry Wastewater Treatment Plant expansion.
Housing construction projects in Bernard Lodge, Reed's Pen, and Shooters Hill, St. Catherine, as well as Vernon's Drive, St. James, will deliver a combined total of over 400 housing units.
Other priority sites have been identified at Ebony Vale and Angel's Pen in St. Catherine, Hopewell Farms in Hanover, Bottom Pen in St. James, and at several smaller sites across the corporate area.
And with more housing solutions comes a thrust to improve garbage collections.
$250 million have been provided in the budget to purchase additional waste disposal trucks.
There is some 17 trucks in the process from the previous administration, and this new additional $250 million will provide another 17. We are expecting that by the end of the year, we will see the first set of trucks coming into the system.
The National Solid Waste Management Authority will also improve the management of the Riverton City disposal site. Social inclusion and protection are equally important to building this partnership for a prosperous Jamaica. And so changes are coming to the National Insurance Scheme, including the reduction of processing time for pensioners.
This year, there will be the introduction of direct deposits for new pensioners.
The Program of Advancement through Health and Education path will be reviewed to better cater to the needs of the most vulnerable, and the Overseas Employment Program will be expanded to include non-traditional markets. Health and education are equally important. Public-private partnerships will expand the primary healthcare facilities, that is, health centers and clinics, and the Alternative Pathways to Secondary Education project will be rolled out. And legislation is being developed to create a tourism workers' pension scheme.
We have to protect them. We have to create this catchment to allow for all the people who are working within the industry, directly or indirectly, can have some social security protection.
Other important issues: climate change.
There's going to be some changes in terms of the structure of the climate change division and the Met Office merging as one, but it is one of the most critical issues facing the world as we know now, so it has to be paid serious attention.
And gender-based violence.
We will be focusing on how we will treat with gender-based violence, and we will be submitting a strategic plan to Cabinet at the end of May.
Partnerships will also be built with regional and international stakeholders. The move involves maximizing bilateral trade relations within CARICOM and other countries. The Jamaican diaspora will also be engaged on matters involving diplomacy, investment and trade. And approval will be sought for national consular policy.
We want to look at how we optimize the services, how we standardize the services. We want to ensure that information is available to them in an easy and accessible way, and we also want to make sure that we do our very best for Jamaicans where they live overseas.
So the government and its stakeholders are working on a slew of policies and programs for the 2016-2017 legislative year. It's all about building partnerships to ensure a prosperous Jamaica.